Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the show. This is doing well on this 14 October 2024. We just finished a recap of Predator, the movie, and it was a discussion about autism and ADHD, and it gave me the idea of my lifelong doing a video just like this one. Well, technically this one, my lifelong struggle with ADHD. Gonna grab a drink. So there you go. I needed a drink. It's gonna be a long video. It's gonna be one of my longest video. Not ever, of course, but in recent history, I don't know if I'm gonna call it a lifelong battle or struggling with ADHD. I think struggling with ADHD is better. So disclaimer, because I do need to do a disclaimer on this video. Don't want to do it, but I need to. This reason why we're doing this video is very, very simple. I saw a movie yesterday, Predator, and there was an autistic child, and they were cuddling it, and they were cherishing it, and it made me very emotional because my experience with ADHD, and I know ADHD and autism is very different, but do yourself a favor. Check it out on Google, and there are actually a lot of similarities. One of my best friends, Celine, she's autistic. And there's a lot of the behavior that she has caused by this sickness that is behavior that I recognize because I have this sickness, which is ADHD. And that movie made me emotional. Not because it's a sad movie, but because I realized that I've been fighting all my life with ADHD. So disclaimer, this is not a video to get sympathy. This is not a video of me victimizing myself. This is not a video where I'm trying to say, hey, this is why. This is not an excuse video. This is not why I'm acting that way. It's just part of me. I get to share so much of me with you guys. I get personal with a lot of the videos I do, a lot of the subject that I talk about. A lot of the subject I talk about, or sometimes too much information. And this is one of those. However, I made a mistake, which is an honest mistake to make, of only wanting to share the good stuff with you guys. And ADHD thing is something that I've always been self-conscious about. Like, for example, when I get comments about me talking too fast, it'd be very simple to say, yo, I got ADHD, that's kind of normal, right? I don't get to control that. No, I don't get to control. When people are telling me, oh, you did this video, didn't seem focused, I could usually use this excuse, but it's not as simple as that, and I don't want to use it as an excuse. I don't want to use it as crush. Oh, you should understand I got ADHD, right? Especially my biggest thing right now with ADHD, with autism, and I will never understand the reality of having autism because I don't have autism, right? It's just once again a response to a movie that I saw yesterday. It's so easy for a doctor to say, yo, this kid has a lot of energy, possibly a trouble with ADHD. What is ADHD? I know in French, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, right? Got ADD, attention deficit disorder. I got ADHD. So, the first thing, what is ADHD? Well, as I mentioned before, ADD, when you have a problem focusing, there's something in your brain that doesn't really compute the way it does. There's something in your brain that doesn't really work like an normal brain should. There's been research, people that are with aggressivity, people that are serial killer, a lot of them have the same problem in their mind. I've been watching Dexter recently, and Dexter, one of the very popular scene is Harry, his father, showing him a picture of a brain with serial killer and a picture of Dexter's brain, and saying they're the same, right? Now, do I agree that there's a huge difference? Listen, I'm not a doctor, I don't know, right? But if they tell me there is, it possibly is. I want to believe it because we got specialists for that, and they're making a lot of money. So let's trust specialists that are being paid and have studied for that. Now, ADHD is the same thing, but with that hyperactivity disorder. So, for example, normal ADD, they're gonna be very if and again, I'm not generalizing. Please understand that. But if you were to put an ADD person in a room full of people that don't have an attention deficit disorder, you can see that the person with ADD is very lunatic, very having a harder time focusing. They're not going to be as focused as other people, right? With ADHD, it's the same thing. But the craziest thing for me as a kid, when they discovered I had ADHD, the craziest thing for me is I wouldn't be able to focus. I would be focusing on other people. For example, the teacher was talking in front of the class, and one of my friends would be sharpening their pencil, and I would focus on the sharpening the pencil. Now, the hard thing with ADHD is that hyperactivity makes you want to move, and you in some cases, my case, you distract yourself. So I don't want to distract people. I don't want other people to distract me, but I distract myself. Now, how was it covered? So one of my first teacher, Rosaline, just to tell you how old I am and how old she was. Look at that fucking name, Rosaline. And I always hated her because she was mean. She was an old mean. But what she did was, she was saying, "Oh, Ink, he's bothering other people in the class. He doesn't focus." And I'm thankful for her. Now that I'm older, I'm thankful because she didn't cuddle me. She didn't give me chances. She didn't make excuses for me. He needs to see it. Now, I was born in the 90s, and in the 90s, it was kind of a new sickness. So they gave me this medication that was Ritalin. And Ritalin was kind of this crazy drug. I started taking Ritalin very, very young. And because I used that, my body became accustomed to it. My body became kind of used to it. Ritalin was a horrible drugs. I was zonked out. I was a zombie. It was so insane. See, Ritalin was more for the hyperactive disorder than attention deficit disorder. I would go in class. I would sit like a zombie, not talking. I wasn't eating. I had problems sleeping. It wasn't horrible drugs. But again, there was nothing else. And this medication made me very, very zoned out. And because of that, I would go to class. I wouldn't move. I didn't know what happened. But the time went like this. Once again, I'm in a class. The other second, I'm in a class, and I cannot tell you what happened in that class. I can't tell you, because I'm not there. I'm constantly sleeping. So horrible. So that's my first 6 years with ADHD. Right? Then, in high school, they're changing. They're saying, you know what, Ritalin, we found that it's not very good. We have another kind of medication for you, and it's called Concerta. Concerta was a lot stronger. Concerta was... And just to tell you how much I disliked Ritalin, from first grade to sixth grade, I was taking it. In sixth, I was going to the daycare. In sixth grade, we had a younger, I don't know what you call it, responsable in French. I'm gonna say the people in charge of us. And I told her, and I started lying because it was a need to lie. I started telling her, "Hey, Julie," her name was Julie. I don't like taking my medication in front of other people. They judge me. It's like, I understand. Go in the bathroom, take it. What would I would do? I would put them in the toilet, right? And it was so weird. My sixth grade was one of the weirdest. One of my weirdest years in my life. My father, who had my charge, my mom, I would see my mom twice a month for weekends. She didn't have me a lot. My father knew I couldn't be trusted because I wouldn't take them. So he would wake me up to take them, and then he would go to work, and I would go back to sleep. The 6 years, my mornings, I don't remember any morning, but the afternoon, I was fully myself. And eventually they discovered I didn't take them, and like, oh, you know? And it's sad because that's one of my biggest, not my biggest regret, but something I regret because she got in trouble. The person in charge of us got into a lot of troubles. Just because I lied to her. It sucks. But I did that. I wish I didn't do it, but I was young, you know? In high school, we take Concerta. Concerta was a lot better. Concerta was, I was still zonked out. I was very uncomfortable as a teenager. Very, very uncomfortable. I was very reserved, but then I had the hyperactivity. See, Concerta wasn't as strong as Ritalin. So there was instances where I would be myself, and there's instances where I wouldn't be myself. Also, with the cafeteria, there was a lot of sweet, and the sweet would counterattack the concerta. So, if I wanted to be myself, what I had to do was buy a cookie at $1.50, and I was getting like $20 a week. So for $7.50, I would be myself for the week. However, the cafeteria only opened at 9 o'clock. The school was starting at 7. So every single day I had 2 hours and a half of guaranteed control. Now, the problem with that is I would go with physical education or ED. The class, I think it's that it. I don't know what you call it in English. But I wouldn't be able to perform because I was so zonked out. And then I had to tell them, yeah, but the medication that I take makes me sleepy. But the Ritalin, I look back at it with horror. You wouldn't eat. You wouldn't sleep. It was bad. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. Now, the first thing I did when I reached 18 was I stopped taking medication. For the people that don't know me, I had to repeat a year in high school. So I finished school at 18. Now I know what you're saying. How did you finish school if you didn't take your medication? Well, at 18, I started working out. And working out became kind of like a religion to me. Working out was such a good thing. So what happened is, my father, girlfriend, was always trying to lose weight. My father girlfriend, she's a kind woman, but we never really got along because we never got along because when it was pleasing her, she would act like a mother, and when she was not pleasing her, she wouldn't act like a mother. There was not this stability, And she wanted to lose weight, but what we didn't know, well, at least I didn't know, that she hid food. So we're constantly dieting, we're constantly eating healthy food at home when she isn't. So we're sacrificing good food for her, but she's not. And at my mom's house, my mom's like, oh my god, I can't believe that she didn't eat. My mom, she wouldn't care. My mom was a big enabler. She enabled a lot of things. A lot of things that I did was because I was enabled to. A lot of the behavior that I have is being enabled, My mom, she would say, you want to eat chips? Eat chips. Want to eat ice cream? Eat ice cream. And it wasn't so much about, oh, you have to watch your weight. It's because you want to eat that? Go ahead. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that because right now I have a weight problem. And I know that if I was a kid, I was my whole life saying, oh, you should eat healthy. It wouldn't be that. But for example, I feel bad if I was born a vegetarian and always wondered what the taste of meat was. And when I do figure out the taste of meat, I'm addicted to meat and I have to eat it every single day. Now, I'm doing a 24 hours tomorrow of streaming. And it's going to be such a cool video to do. So happy that we get to do it together. I'm going to be eating whatever I want. Now, the 24 hours of streaming, I'm excited for. I love streaming for 24 hours. I love streaming. And I'm going to be able to eat what I want. And I know I'm trying to lose weight. This goes counter what we were planning. But at the same time, I'm not a guy that plans. Is it because of ADHD? Possibly. The fact that I do a lot of videos. The fact that I don't plan for things. The fact that I don't take notes. When I'm going to do a recap, I'm going to take some notes. But otherwise, I'm not going to take notes. And that is personal. That is my way of working. This is the way I was raised. You see the apartment. The apartment is always in disorder. It's never clean. Well, it's clean because I do clean it. But it's never neat. There's a difference between a clean apartment and a neat apartment. It isn't dirty. I clean. Is it neatly? Is it well organized? No. I'm not able to do that. And even if I organize things, I'm like, where did I put it? Where did I put it? I work better in chaos, right? But going back to ADHD, in high school, it was a really cool thing. See, so my mom, she would allow me to eat everything I wanted. And I gained some weight. My father was like, holy shit, I cannot believe you gained so much weight. I'm gonna put you in the gym. I'm like, okay, no problem. I went to the gym and I actually liked the working out. Now, here's the reality. And wanted to get into detail? You want a long video? I'll give you a long video. I'll get you what you want. I don't know why I liked working out so much as a kid. Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball. I watch Dragon Ball and see all of those strong people, and I'm like, all I have to do to be strong like them is to work out. I remember being a kid, being 10, 12 years old, and doing 10, 20, 50 push-ups a day. Well, at that time, again, I was on Ritalin, I wasn't eating, so I was possibly 70, 80 pounds. I'm 5'4", which is 1.50 m. Always the shortest kid in my class. Always, always, always. Yeah, so Dragon Ball. I started working out and I really, really enjoy it. Now, this is kind of sad too. I never had a lot of friends, okay? That's mostly because I don't know how to keep friendship. That's mostly because I like being alone. But the friend that I did have in high school, that was thanks to the working out. We would get to the gym together and I was like, yo, let's work out together. And it was kind of cool. It was really fun. It was kind of nice. And you realize that those friendships were out of school. And that's my first time having friends outside of school. So I became kind of obsessed with working out. Really obsessed. And it's the feeling that it gives you. It's a really good feeling. It's the way you look. You look way better. As an adult, I have problem with self-acceptance. I have problem with self-love. I have problem finding myself attractive. As a kid, I had the same problem. And in Sec 5, so what I would do, which was crazy, I would go to gym, the school gym, at lunch. And I would go to the gym after work, after school. So first of all, I was hungry enough to eat, which is very good for when you're thinking, when you have to think. And I was more focused without the concerta, a bit with the training that I was with the concerta. Now, do I believe that I should have not been under the concerta? I should have found a healthier, a more natural way to fix me as a kid? I don't care. Listen, as a kid, I had to go see shrinks. I had to go see shrinks. I had to take medication. Oh, that was tough times. It was tough time because as a kid, I'm not complaining. I'm not making myself a victim. But as a kid, when you're being told your whole entire childhood there's something wrong with you, then you start thinking there's something wrong with me. And the worst thing you can do to a kid is that. And the worst thing the people ever did to me was telling me there was something wrong with me, but not explaining what it is. And I would look at the other kids and say, oh yeah, but I have hyperactivity. That's possibly what's wrong with me. So living with ADHD as a kid was, I have to deal with this sickness that I hate. Now, this is going to be a good video. So, I stopped taking my medication, right? And I finished my high school. And I would take a year off, so I started working. And one of the first jobs that I have was IGA. In IGA, I was very good with people. I was always very good with people. I was always very, very charismatic. And there's a simple reason for that. Take a kid, okay? This is not a sob story, please. Don't feel bad for me. I think it's fine, okay? Please don't feel bad for me. As a kid, take a kid, okay? And put him in a position where he wants to socialize with people, but he thinks that something's wrong with him. So he doesn't have self-confidence, so he doesn't talk to people. Put him in IGA, selling stuff in the bakery. Give him interaction with customer. He's a good seller. Because he craved that social aspect, he craved that friendship, he craved that human contact, you know? And I would love that job. And I would go back home, and it was beautiful because I could play games, I could eat what I want. And see, I did that for years and years and years. Even when I'm working, even if I'm working in a workshop where I have to constantly move, I don't care. But when I think about it, ADHD has a lot of positive and a lot of negatives. So we finished with the negative stuff. There's only one left. But it's kind of it's a perfect segue. That's a nice word for the positive of the ADHD. So last one is I don't know if that's a AIM thing or a ADHD. I cannot have a middle. I'm either out of focus or I'm either hyper focused. So you see me filming 20, 30 videos a day, right? Every single day. And you see me constantly put content out. And you wonder why, because I'm hyper fixated. At work, that's a huge problem. So at work, the job that I had, and I fucking love that job. The place that I had was perfect. The place that I had was putting profile in, checking if they're not broken, putting them in the machine, changing box, opening boxes. It was fun. It was a lot of physical work, but it was not a lot of mental work. It was automatic. So, for example, right? For example, and I'm not trying to be a dick, okay? But you're working a assembly line. Like I was working an assembly line, and all you had to do was to check the thing that passed in front of you, and check they're good. I was lucky enough to have to put them on the conveyor. There was a physical aspect, but it was more like an automatic aspect. I was listening to music. I'm telling you guys, honestly, that job, I would have done it my whole life. I would have been happy. It was a perfect job for me. A bit physical, right? A lot of automatic. A lot of moments where I was left with myself. Now with work, sadly, the bit of toxicity that I found at work was because of that. That job that I fucking love was a lot of automatism. So, for example, I was working in assembly line personally, but we had a lot of the same profile. We had a lot of the same profile. The people. So basically, what we're doing is we're taking two pieces of metal, we're putting them together. So I was working the assembly line, which is the first line. So for example, we're taking let's take these two, right? I'm putting them together. My job was to put this piece in the machine and this piece in the machine. The machine would put them together. And then we had two guys to package them, to put them in boxes, right? Now we go to the hooking line. So what they do is they take the profile that we did and they put it on jigs to go to painting. And then we have the last step of the job, and that's my whole company. People that are seeing painted profile and putting them in boxes, and then we're sending them to the right enterprise. However, the toxicity that I saw there was because it was a lot of automatic. So when you're left with automatic, you're left in your head. And for a lot of people, myself included, not so much now, but for majority of my life, being in your head is not a safe place. Right now, I'm happy. I don't care if I'm in my head. I'm in my head every single day, the whole day. And I'm happy. But for a lot of people, it was hard. So there was a lot of toxicity. And you guys know me, I'm a pacific guy. I don't fight a lot. So when people became negative with me, what I did was like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't need to be talking to you. I would put music. And the best thing I've ever did was putting music. Because the amount of things that I listened to, think about it. I had this application that you could put 2 times the speed. I would listen to music 40 hours a week. Put in 5 hours every single week of transport. That's 45. Put in 90 hours. Put 90 hours, right? Times 50. Okay? And then, when you reach the time 50, do it another time 7, because I worked there 7 years. That's the amount of hours of content that I listened to. However, I became addicted. If I couldn't listen to music, I couldn't function. And that's the thing with ADHD. You're either not focused at all, or you're hyper focused. See, I love streaming. You guys see me streams a lot. I'm gonna do it 24 hours tomorrow, and the 24 hours are one of my favorite things to do. One of my favorite things to do. And we're playing a good game to do it with. Why is it my favorite thing to do? Well, it's extremely simple. First of all, I don't have to think about anything else than just the game. I'm in the same spot, watching the same clip, eating for 24 hours, so it's fun. But I get to hyper focus. Now, I'll be completely transparent, completely honest. Making 30 videos a day is very, very trying for me. Doing this is very trying. Making 30 videos in one day, why is it so trying? Because I'm focusing on this video, it ends. Okay, stop focusing, focus on this video. Stop focusing, focus on this video. See? And that's why sometimes in the videos, I seem more tired. I have a hard time speaking. I have a hard time formulating a thought. It's because I'm exhausted. So doing something for 24 hours is good, but in life you should be hyper focused about one thing. I'm gonna have children, and I'm gonna have more than one children. I want 3, I want 4. And I'm afraid that I'm going to be focusing on one kid, while the other 2 kids are going to be having problems. See, ADHD in my case is this wonderful, wonderful illness where I'm always in a good mood. I have a lot of emotion because I'm a positive guy, because I'm a nice person. My emotions are positive, right? That's number 1. Number 2, I'm constantly in a position of see, I can sleep for 5 hours. Lately I've been sleeping a lot. I don't know what's wrong with me, but the things like lack of sleep, things like a cold, I get to not focus on that. For example, right now, I told you it's too cold outside, but if I was to be outside for 3 hours, that's why I don't go outside, because I'll be out there and I won't focus on the cold, and the next day I'm gonna be sick, and I'm like, holy shit. My mom's sick right now. My mom also had ADHD. What did she do? She stayed outside, and she said, I don't understand. It wasn't that cold. Yeah, it wasn't that cold, but you were out there for 4 hours. Understand? So living with ADHD is a wonderful thing. There's a lot of things that ADHD have brought me. My personality, the fact that I'm able to make people laugh, the fact that I'm able to think out of the box. When you're told your whole life you don't belong in that box, start thinking outside of the box. Motivation, a hard worker. Yeah, there's horrible thing with ADHD, but this whole purpose of this video can be reduced to one sentence. Yes, I have ADHD, but I live with it. I think that's why this video is made, showing you this side of me, this more vulnerable side of me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.